Howdy, folks. I hope everyone is doing well this evening. I'm going to make this as short as I can. Well, reasonably speaking. I'm going to say what I have to say. But, I keep having flat earthers telling me that I'm deceived and that I believe some kind of system of falsehoods that is perpetrated on the general public by NASA. Okay? Well, first, NASA is a very young agency relative to humanity knowing that we live on a globe and not a flat disk. All right. Secondly, we know who invented the flat earth, and we know about when the concept was invented. Yes, the very same Nimrod that's talked about in the Bible. As a matter of fact, he dedicated a city to the flat earth god, whose name is Anu. It's spelled A-N-U. I can't remember the name of the city. I want to say it is Kalna or something like that. I'll put it up here in the video. And I'll reference it also in the description underneath along with the Bible reference where it speaks of it. But here's the thing, and atheist, you're not gonna go along with this most likely, but those who are biblical believers, be they Torah observant biblical believers or just churchianity biblical believers that think that the earth is flat, will at least should understand what I'm saying, whether they agree with it or not. The reason that we have this flat earth concept growing by leaps and bounds the way that it is right now is because every so often the devil has to test humanity to see how gullible humanity is at any given point. And throughout history, he has done this sort of thing, and he does it with so many different tools. For example, the whole Christmas celebration we know is rooted in paganism. There's nothing biblical about it, and for those of us who observe Torah actually know that Christmas is a sin to celebrate, along with Easter and everything else. Before it was called Christmas, it was called Saturnalia, in honor of worshiping Saturn, who was the king of the Roman gods, Zeus in Greek mythology. And I'm not here to talk about those. I'm talking about the flat earth right now. But the reason that it has grown in such popularity is because the devil is testing humanity to see how gullible humanity is, because we are nearing the end, and he has to find out how many people he's going to be able to trick into following him. We knew that the earth was round, a globe that orbited the sun literally hundreds, actually thousands of years before NASA was invented. And here's another question for you. Do you flat earth people really believe that the governments of the world who can't make simple agreements on trade, and tariffs and imports and immigration and stuff like that, do you really think that they have gotten together and agreed to intentionally deceive the people of the world? And there are literally billions of people involved in all the space agencies and astrophysics and astronomy and stuff like that around the world. And you think that the governments are secretly getting along with each other in such a way that they're deceiving all of humanity, and that you all are somehow the only ones that has seen through the government lies, go get yourself a telescope. You can go right to Walmart and you can buy a little cheap telescope for under $50. It's not very high powered and it's not a high quality telescope. It's high enough quality that you can look at the moon and see that the moon is a ball. It's high enough quality that with the proper sun or solar filter, you can look at the sun and can tell that the sun is further away than the moon is and that the sun is larger than the moon is. I mean, that's just a simple matter of mathematics. You know, you look at the lens setup that you have and then the focal length of the telescope, and you can calculate the distance that the sun is based on that. And you can calculate the distance from the moon to you based on those simple little things. You know, the focal length of the telescope, the magnification eyepiece that you have on it, or focal eyepiece. I don't remember exactly what it's called. Apologies. But it's a very, very simple thing to do. So all you flat earthers who keep telling the rest of us that we're deceived, you're wrong. And I don't mind telling you that you're wrong. I'll go on and say this also. I do censor the comments under my videos because, quite frankly, most of you flat earthers don't know how to talk to people. You want to call names and you want to, you know, insult and stuff like that, and I don't have to put up with it. Yes, you have the absolute freedom to say anything that you want to say, anytime that you want to say it. Just like I have the freedom to delete your comments on my channel. Now, I'm not trying to be ugly to you, and I'm certainly not going to call you any names or anything because, quite frankly, I feel sorry for you. There are simple, basic observations that you can make that absolutely disproves the whole flat earth concept. You know, follow the path of the sun in the sky. You can see it's not making a gigantic circle because you would be able to see that. Relatively speaking, from anyone's perspective on the ground, you can see that the sun is going in essentially a straight line. Now, over the course of a year, it moves back and forth, you know, from side to side. And it's not actually moving. That's because of the relationship between the Earth's axial tilt and its position relative to the sun. Or the axial tilt relative to the sun, I should say, actually. So, comment, discuss, all you want to. But when you start getting ugly and you start insulting, this is your one and only warning. I'm going to delete your comments and I'm going to disable your ability to comment on my channel because YouTube allows me to block individual users from commenting. Another thing, and I don't know how to say it, so I'm just going to say it outright, you know, or as John Hammond in Jurassic Park said, not to put too fine a point on it, flat earthers get nasty. I mean, just nasty. I have seen biblical flat earthers tell people to F off and tell them and call them F-tards and, you know, dumb butts using the A word and all kinds of nasty stuff like that. And I'm just not even really going to get into it. You know, I've heard them call each other that, or call people that C word that's typically used to refer to lady parts. Again, without trying to put too fine a point on it. So, yeah, I mean, you shoot your own selves in the foot with your own nastiness and attitudes, etc., etc., etc. And I feel sorry for you. Now, I have an email address posted on this YouTube channel here, and if you want to discuss things privately, you send me an email to that address. But I can promise you again, if you send me some nasty email, first, I'm going to post it in the comment section under this video. Now, obviously, I'm going to have to censor it. Or no, actually, I think I'll just make a video about it. And I will be giving your name in that video, so you've had fair warning. Another thing, don't bother sending me any hyperlinks, because I'm not going to click on them. I don't know what kind of virus or porn or whatever you might be trying to infect my computer with. You know, I realize that you think us folks that know we live on a globe are stupid, but I ain't that stupid. I promise you. So, anyway, I've spoke my piece this evening, and I truly do hope that all of you are doing well and do better. For you flat earthers, you know, I hope that you come to the knowledge of the truth. And for the atheist, I hope that y'all come to the knowledge of the truth also. And this is not in any way intended to be an insult or anything else. I just, you know, I care about you. And no, I'm not a wimp. Or one of those other P words that folks like to use. So, all that being said, remember Proverbs 18:13. And in the spirit of Proverbs 18:13, and I'll post that scripture under the video. It says, "A man that answereth a matter before he heareth it is shame and folly unto him." And in the spirit of that scripture, because I don't want to folly, and I don't want to make, you know, shame myself, I have genuinely looked into that whole flat earth science, which is not really science, it's not even pseudoscience, but I've looked into it. I've looked at your scriptural evidence, and I've looked at your observational evidence, and it's lacking. And by saying it's lacking, I'm being generous. So, again, in the spirit of Proverbs 18:13, I'm answering the matter now because I have heard it. So, again, the other two scriptures are Acts chapter 17, verses 10 and 11, 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15, which tell us that it's our responsibility to seek for ourselves. Don't rely on what other people tell you. And that's something that I guarantee you flat earthers do. See, I don't rely on NASA or astrophysicists or anyone else to tell me what our universe looks like or how it works or anything else. I look through my own telescope. I sit down and do my own math and so forth and so on right by myself to understand it. Yeah, I got started out by listening to others, but I grew up. So now I don't do that. Anyway, all that being said, I hope to see each and every one of you in the kingdom of heaven. I really and truly do. Yahweh bless.